Hey guys, it's Heather here, and today I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about my thoughts and opinions on the most recent December 2015 update, now that we're a few weeks out from that. And I don't like to give my opinion on an update until we've seen how it's able to jive within the game itself. And even now, I still feel like we're in the 2015 update. We haven't really finalized what life is going to be like in Clash of Clans going forward. Now, as I look back to my videos that were done pre-update, as I was talking about the update, I still have that feeling of positivity that I had during those videos, because I know from the past and from experience playing Clash of Clans that when things are not right, when something is wrong with an update, and I can understand that it's kind of unpredictable to know just how things are going to go from being in a development setting of just a few people developing a game, having some testing going on, to then expanding it out into an environment of millions of people. So I know from my past experience that when something is wrong, Supercell will fix it. Now, I don't think having this update hit so close to their holidays was probably the best idea, and it probably wasn't intended to come out during this time. I think that there was so much going on, so much being worked through, that the update got pushed and pushed until it ended up happening in December. So I think having the update hit when it did was probably bad timing, so that if things were wrong, that they weren't on holiday, that they could start working on those. But the other thing to note about that is that when things are wrong, the last thing you want to do is start throwing hotfix after hotfix at a problem and trying to fix it that way. It's far better to be able to see how it really is playing out, see how it starts to, level itself out, and what things are really like and what fixes really need to happen to continue to make this a great game. Now, coming from an American background, an American mindset, and an American business mindset, and working with developers, I have a completely different way of approaching things and working through things than they do at Supercell. Supercell is a revolutionary company where they have these cells of developers, like 5 or so developers, just these little pods that work on a game, and that's all they do. And they're not taking direction from some guy up above that knows nothing about the game, nothing about the development, and trying to then tell them what to do. They're the ones that are accountable for everything. And so that they create this really passionate environment where these guys are developing this game and it's theirs. And they're the ones that get to, say the direction of the way things go. And you have multiple units of these cells at Supercell that are all working on different games. You saw at ClashCon, when Jonas got up there and was introducing Town Hall 11, he was showing everybody, including the people at Supercell. People at Supercell hadn't even seen this yet. So when you're thinking about, the way that the company is run at Supercell, it's completely different. And to try and have expectations of this is how it should be and this is how it should work, that's fine. But then you're going to lose other aspects of that makes Supercell so great, which have made this game so great to begin with. So there's positive and negatives about the situation. You have actual people, playing it and using it. It's a completely different environment than the amount of beta testing you can do yourself. So I'm really on the fence about how I think things should change at Supercell with regards to beta testing and how things are rolled out, because I just feel like in this development environment, it's really difficult to be able to fully test something for 1 million people without introducing it to 1 million people. So I don't know. I think they're doing a pretty good job. I think some things were definitely missed on this. The one thing that is really encouraging to me, though, is when I was doing those pre-update videos and I was expressing my opinion on the different updates as they were being sneak peeked, a lot of the things that I said where I felt like, I don't know, guys, I don't know how well this is going to work. This kind of seems like a miss to me. They changed those things, a lot of the things that I said before the update was even released. So that tells me, it wasn't just me saying those things. I know other people were saying those things too, that they're listening to the community. They're really tuned in. What we think and our opinions, they really do matter. So to me, it's not like what I'm feeling right now is, oh no, Clash is doomed forever because it's now broken and that's just the way it is. It's like, no, I I feel truly positive. They're gonna fix it, and they're looking at the best way to fix it now, and they're looking to see what the true issues are. And it's kind of going through this update and my opinion on things. You know, the big thing with the update was Town Hall 11, and a lot of people were excited about that and going to it. I feel like, you know, my opinion before is like, we don't need Town Hall 11, because I didn't want Town Hall 11 because I'm nowhere near Town Hall 11. But I think it was definitely something, you know, in retrospect, that the game needed, because there's just way too many people that were maxed out and needed somewhere to go. I think the Eagle Artillery was a bit of a letdown. It's kind of like this big hype like Expos are at Town Hall 9, and then when you actually get it and see how it is in the game, it's nowhere as exciting and OP as we were all expecting it to be. The Grand Warden's pretty awesome. Can't wait to have that guy on my team. And, you know, so things with Town Hall 11 look pretty good, and like there's definitely room to grow there with Town Hall 11. So I like that there's just a few things that have been introduced, a few levels, a few extra buildings, and then continue to grow Town Hall 11. Okay, so that's all fine and dandy. Let's talk about this stuff from the update that people are having a problem with, and for good reason. And it all really comes down to no more town hall sniping. Everything kind of imploded from there with this update, and where things kind of went a little bit wrong. Now, I completely agree. Town hall sniping should not be in the game. It should have never been a part of the game. It's thematically wrong. So you shouldn't be able to just stick your town hall on the outside and get a free shield. So I completely agree with doing these changes to bring the town hall into the center of the base, or bring the town hall in so it's protected. I think those are great changes, need to happen. The problem is that by doing so, they neglected the balance that needed to happen to compensate for the reason why we stick our town halls on the outside anyways. So now with the town hall on the inside, I find with my main account, Town Hall 10 account, I rarely ever get a shield. I'm sure I could go up into the higher leagues and get a shield, no problem. But why would I? Why every 12 hours would I want to be attacked and lose a massive amount of resources? No, there's no way. I'm still building things. I'm still upgrading my heroes. There's nothing to farm up at those levels, so I'm not going to be up at those levels. So I'm down in crystal and gold, and I never get a shield. So that means if I'm in clan war, if on those rare occasions every 3 or 4 days when I get a shield, I have the possibility of losing my clan castle troops, which just sucks, because if I get a clan castle donation for war, I should be able to protect that, because I no longer going to stick my town hall on the outside and get a shield and know that donation is going to be protected. So there's no way to protect that. So war is getting incredibly frustrating. And then also with the personal break timers, that's, they've made that better now. At least we know we have that little personal timer that tells us, okay, in this amount of time you're going to be kicked off. So at least I have a better idea to be able to plan with war. It's still super annoying, and it's supposed to reset after 30 minutes, but there's still some bugs with that, because just the other day I logged on to my main Town Hall 10 account. I hadn't been on for at least 6 or 7 hours, and it says you've gone too long without a shield, you need to take a break. So it's like I didn't even get a chance to start playing, and it's like, okay, we need to try and get you a shield. I was like, well, it's not going to happen. I'll come back in 6 minutes, I still won't have a shield. So still some things I think need to be tweaked with that personal break timer, so that it's more conducive to people doing wars, especially when we're in like these arranged wars. Seriously, there's nothing more fun in playing Clash of Clans than doing an arranged war, and the last thing you want is to be continuously kicked. So some things need to change with that. Even though they're saying personal breaks looking pretty good, there's still some tweaks that need to happen with that. So now, because of bringing the town hall in, either you're not getting a shield, or it means every 12 hours your base is getting completely destroyed. So I have multiple accounts. So on some of these accounts, all they are is for war, just so I can go do wars on different levels and be able to give you guys different tutorials. So on some of these accounts, they will go like 8 days without getting attacked. All I'm doing is logging on, and they have like 100,000 to 150,000 resources in their mines, and they're not being attacked, and they're like in gold. So they, something's up there. And I guess it's with being inactive and inactive bases taken out, but those accounts should be there free for all, right? They should be getting hit, people should be getting the loot. So people are having a hard time finding loot because there's something going on with these inactive bases not being part of the search. And it could be that they are, but the problem is now that 80% of those bases that we were all hitting for snipes are now continuously in the pool to be hit, that a lot of bases just aren't coming up. And it seems like the more active you are, the more likely you're going to get attacked. So if I go into one of these accounts and I do an attack on that account, then I'll immediately get hit back. But if I go into the account and just collect resources, chances are when I log back on the next day, I'm not going to be attacked again. They'll just be shieldless that entire time. So definitely there is a huge issue there with being able to find loot and then being able to keep it. And this is something that I brought up in those pre-update videos. One thing they talked about, the bonuses being revamped and that you were getting more. And this, like I mentioned, this is not true because you have to get 70% of the base down before you get more loot than you did before. And if we're farming, we're not taking down 70% of the base. That's just not what we're doing. You're not, spending that amount of troops and build time to be able to go in 70% of base. So the loot bonuses are less than they were. And those loot bonuses should have been increased a lot to make up for the fact that we have to go in and take down much more of a base and use a much stronger army. So loot bonuses are off. And then something's off with regards to being able to find bases that make it worth your while, because while you're farming, if you're having to save up if you're having to save up 8 million in resources to be able to do an upgrade, and knowing that when you get hit, you're going to be losing like 3,000 dark at a time and, a couple of thousand at least from your elixir and gold, there needs to be much more balance there. And that's something that they've talked about, that, hey, they know what's happening and they're working on it. They're going to fix it. So a couple of things there that definitely need to have something happen with them. One for me, I think those loot bonuses on successful attacks, they need to go way up, because right now there is absolutely no point for me being in a higher league. I will spend time dropping down to bronze, even knowing that I'm going to get hit and gain about 1,000 trophies overnight, just because that's a much better area to farm in. There's no way I want to be up in masters and trying to farm. There's no benefit from a league bonus anymore. So yeah, that entire thing is broken. Now, the other thing that we talked about too is the benefits that came to Town Hall 9 with having the spell donation and what a Town Hall 9 is able to do now. Town Hall 9 essentially became the new Town Hall 8 with this update. I guess that kind of makes sense. You bring in a new Town Hall level, then it kind of means that the ones below it should be easier to 3-star. And what I feel likely happened with Town Hall 9 is the perception and the mindset has been put out there that Town Hall 9 is a 3-star arena and that everybody should be able to do it, and that's how you play Clash of Clans. And if you can't 3-star Town Hall 9, then you're just not a very good Clash player. And yeah, a lot of us can do it, and I honestly feel it's easier for me to 3-star a max Town Hall 9 as a max Town Hall 9 than it is to 2-star a max Town Hall 10 as a max Town Hall 10. And that's just me, just because I have a lot more experience as a Town Hall 9. But to have that perception out there for the casual player, that's incredibly frustrating if you're not capable of 3-starring as a Town Hall 9 and you don't have hours and hours on end to map out your attack and to figure out the pathing. And I don't think Clash of Clans ever intended for people to do war at the level people do war. Honestly, I don't think there's a lot of people out there that really do it at that level. I was talking with some people in my clan, including myself, and I probably spend like a minute or two. I'd look at the base and then I just attack it. Spend a minute, look at it. Okay, that's the armor I'm gonna build. Come back, look at it for another minute. Okay, and then just go. Unless it's like an arranged war or something, really matters. Maybe then I'll spend 5 to 10 minutes planning out an attack. But I don't spend time planning out an attack. And because that's me, and I feel like I am pretty involved in war in a lot of different clans, I gotta assume that that's more in line with the majority of people and how they play. And so I kind of feel like what was brought to Town Hall 9 was the ability to make that more fair for more people, and that more people would be able to 3-star and feel successful as a war attacker at Town Hall 9 and not have the pressure and the expectation there that they should be just as good as people who are playing 10 hours a day. So that's kind of my mindset. I think it's also there to, again, that it's become like Town Hall 8 and it's time to encourage those Town Hall 9 attackers to move to Town Hall 10 and make that the new challenge. So yeah, there's my thoughts on the update. I would still like to see some definite changes to Clash of Clans. I don't think Clash of Clans is going away. I do feel like the team is going to get this loot issue fixed, which is, you know, kind of the big headache right now. I would love to see more updates to Clash of Clans for things like the arranged wars, even though I completely understand that them doing a system to allow for arranged wars probably isn't going to happen, just because it's such a minority of players that are interested in doing an arranged war. I mean, I know me and my clans do, and there's other ones out in the war community, but the vast majority of people who play Clash of Clans would have zero interest in trying to be matched up against other clans, let alone in doing that kind of system would mean that you were doing it for zero loot payoff. Most people, you know, would have no desire to do that. So I don't see arranged wars being something that the general population is ever going to get behind. But for those of us who absolutely love it, it would be great just to have, you know, a couple little things added to the game, like being able to see a person's word weight in their profile, just to make things a little bit easier for us so that we could get that matchup. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for me. Be sure to follow me on social media, Twitter, Facebook, subscribe to me on YouTube, and tell your clan to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.